Elevate your new week, fuel your success. SSM invites you to kickstart each weekday with our news update Between the Lines, featuring the week's top news and analysis and the most attention-grabbing lines, deciphering world events. Hook up to SSM Monday program Between the Lines.
Yes, Between the Lines. Hello, viewers around the world. My name is Mark Godwin Iweajuwan, and you're welcome to Between the Lines. Today, the 9th of September, 2024. I'm here in Milan, Italy, and in other parts of the world are my colleagues, my coordinator. Far away, Ghana. Accra, Ghana is our man, Olayinka Raji. Raji Olayinka, are you there in Ghana?
Man, I'm having some problem with the video, but I'm here.
Okay, don't worry. Yes, you can. We know how technology works. Sometimes you have those glitches. So, viewers, you are welcome. Today is another special day. Start your week with our program. But in far away, Toronto, Canada. I hope I'm seeing my signal there. Signal from Toronto. Are you there? George Chukwu.
Yes. My
George,
God,
how are you?
I'm wonderful. We just want to welcome the viewers from around the world. Welcome to our In Between the Lines show, where we tell you how it is and how we can go in between the line and tell you the truth about what's happening around the world. Welcome.
Nice, George. You said those words well. You're welcome. You are welcome. And Raji is there in Ghana. Raji is having wonderful swell time in Ghana, Accra. Raji, can you hear us now?
I can hear you clearly. Yes.
So how are you? It's good to see you.
I'm very well, thank you. I'm really
there was a festival. Yes, there was a festival during the weekend. You want to tell us about it? I know it's, yes, the Fantu Affair, is that correct? Fantu Affair Festival celebrated by chiefs in the Cape Coast. That's the central region of Ghana. Tell us.
Okay. Yes. It's an annual festival in Cape Coast. Very, very important. Cape Coast happens to be the center of most tourist activity in Ghana. Most of the historical castles we find in Ghana are inside around Cape Coast. Yes, Cape Coast used to be the capital of Ghana, and it still remains the spiritual capital of Ghana. It is the city of faith, the first secondary school, the first so many firsts. The Festival of Fashion this year was the 60th anniversary. And it was so grand. The chief guest was Oscar Bonsu, the paramount chief of the Ashanti.
Nice. Thank you very much. I know you've really enjoyed yourself going to that event.
Yes.
Before we continue, let's also bring in our diva from Turkey, Istanbul, Yema Benson. You're welcome to Between the Lines.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to In Between the Lines.
Nice. Okay, so thank you, Raji, for that. George, you wish you could be there, right? They said it's also a moment they commemorate the purification of the land. They clean the land from all plagues, and is that so? George, you wish you were in Ghana, right?
I wish I was in Ghana. I wouldn't mind celebrating with Raji there, eating all the wache and kenke and all kinds of peanut butter soup.
Oh, wow! I had that this afternoon.
Raji's face is changing now. His face is glowing now.
Yes. It's shining.
All right, gentlemen, let's move on to our stories for the day. First of all, we have to do the news break. I know you're all following that DSS arrest and has detained the Nigerian Labour Congress president, Joe Ajaero. Joe has been detained. George, are you following that? It's not like it's
following it. It's just almost it's very, very disturbing. You know, the kind of government we are operating. Joe Ajaero, simply because he must have because of the strike that took place, for 10 days. Now all of a sudden he's being targeted by DSS. This is just, I think we are coming into a different kind of government. We're going back. We have a pseudo-military government right now. We call it democracy, but it's no longer democracy. Where a department will just, fish out individuals that are operating in their constitutional right and find something to hold against them in order to intimidate and to pressure them. It's disturbing. I don't know what Nigeria is coming into. When people are talking about, maybe we are better off in a military government. So we know that we have a military government rather than so-called democracy, but there is no democratic process whatsoever. What they do, they want it, how they want it is how it is these days. So we need to be very careful in this country. And I keep on sounding this warning. The government is not operating in the finest way. And yet, we're instituting something quite different. You see, because when Buhari was the president of Nigeria, everybody was a little bit, apprehensive about what is going on simply because he was a general before in the military. Now we have a complete and absolute civilian president who now is also gleaning from the military time and then doing things in a way that is not even democratic. Why would you find somebody who is the head of a Labour Congress, a constitutional stated office, and then you're going to fish out something simply because you wanted to intimidate them? This is
Thank you, George.
It's disheartening.
Raji, Ajaero was arrested on his way to the UK. He was arrested at the airport, and he was actually supposed to be in a program. There's an event going on in the UK that is called it's a general conference of all trade unions, and he's a special guest there. He's even supposed to make presentation. Now, how will this go? Why will they take him when he's going to an event? Why not wait till he comes back or something? Now, the schedule on the other end in the UK has been spoiled. Everything has, Raji, tell us. Joe.
I'm in a very serious position. Sorry, there seems to be an echo.
No, go ahead. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. Now, what I see is what I've called a nascent dictatorship. It is a blatant and abominable step for Tinubu to take. He is failing at governance. He has deliberately steered the whole country into politics, into campaign season, and all that he's trying to do is sustain that steering into politics, so that our eyes will be off governance. From the very first day, almost every step, everything he has said has become is essentially political and not governance. If he had started with governance, you'll have found a way to unite the whole country. But because because he's deficient in governance, he has to make the whole country in a state in which he is an active participant, and that is politics. That's what you're having. That is politics.
That's what we're having.
Every day, there's something distracting the whole country from government, and then the whole country is divided against itself, and that is what the state he wants us to do, and the way the state he wants.
Very, very sad. Yema, do you think he will be charged? What do you think could happen to our Labour Congress chairman? What do you think they could do with this? All of this.
I mean, if he's disrupting the process of the according to Saraji, he said, is it gangster government? If he's disrupting them from achieving what they want to, of course they will have to want to retain him and bring up some charges, so they will have to keep him after everything has been done. Then they can now start saying, okay, we know Nigerian politics, we know how it has been. In fact, let me say, we know the African politics that always mask themselves up with democracy, but it's actually a dictatorship. So we know that's how it's going to end. If they have something they want to do and they have to retain him, so after that they release him. I mean, that's how it is done in Nigeria. It's quite sad.
Sad. Very, very. Okay. Sad. We're following up. George, tell us. Go ahead, George.
You know how DSS, do their operations. They will arrest you, and they're going to fact-finding to find what charges they will put against you.
Yeah.
And this is just, this our country is a laughable country. The people are dying daily. There is hunger all over the place. Now, the inflation is skyrocketing. Yet, the government is out there, rather than trying to find solution to the problems that are aching the people and the masses. What they are doing is using their political muscle to silence those that are speaking up, those that are wanting things to work in the right way. It is so sad. And tomorrow, they're going to find somebody else to blame. The people in the government and all these other pastors and people out there need to start speaking up. Because when it falls down, everybody will be affected. This man is not listening. He is not paying attention. This attitude of them and us, instead of one Nigeria, is a one issue that they have been propagating for the longest, using divide and conquer, tribal sentiments, a religious bigotry, and everything in order to silence people. Nigeria better be careful. People are crying out. People are crying out. People are crying out. A hungry man is an angry man. Tinubu,
angry man. Thank you, George.
We want your government to succeed, but please pay attention and warn all your hacker men, that you have given, the access to be destroying the people in this country. Warn them to be very careful, because when it will explode, everybody will be affected. Warn them, Tinubu, you are a civilian president. You're not a military man. You need to stop this nonsense that is happening in Nigeria, because when it will explode, you and the rest will not be able to control what is coming. Yeah. It's going to hammer very soon if you're not careful, sir. With all due respect to your presidency, we love you. We want you to succeed. Please do the best you can to stop this nonsense that is aching and destroying our country, the democratic process in that country. Be careful.
Sorry,
okay,
Mark,
go ahead.
Mark, we have a group consisting of all manner of people in all spheres of life. Initially, what we agreed to do was to pray for Tinubu to succeed as president, because his success is also a success. That was before all the ramblings that he started. At yesterday's meeting, we meet on Sundays. At yesterday's meeting, I made it clear to all of them, because I'm one of those who supported Tinubu across the line. A lot of them were obedient. They were very close to Obi. In fact, one of them was in that circle of obese people. Now, I was telling him yesterday, after our service, that I have come to a simple conclusion. I'm no more praying for anybody. All I'm praying for is the peace and joy of Nigeria. And any obstacle that will come between me and the peace of this country, the Lord God Almighty will remove him or remove it, because that person is actually an animal who doesn't want good for this country.
Thank you very much,
I'm not
Raji.
praying
Thank
for
you, George.
this process.
Yes.
I'm praying for the
Yes.
success of this country.
Okay. We
My
are all praying for. Yes.
My patriotism is now for the nation.
Yes. Thank you, guys. We all want the best for our country. Added to what we're saying, George and Raji and Iyema, somebody is blowing a whistle. Somebody, PDP Atiku is saying that there's a proposed VAT increase they are planning to do, and he's saying that this will worsen Nigerian economic crisis. PDP Atiku, George, any one of you have that story? Is there anybody
yes,
following that?
Let me come in there. You know,
okay.
It was mentioned that the VAT was going to 10%. Then I now look back at all the activities of people in Lagos. And all that he did was to raise taxes. And he raised the IGP of Lagos to a very high value. But we cannot see that value in Lagos. All that he did was to raise taxes, to tax the people to raise funds, and then use the funds to build up a behemoth of that now sustains him as a kingpin. And he's bringing the same thing into the national sphere, raising taxes. There's no way a country can raise taxes into wealth, because the people we are taxing are almost comatose. There's nothing for them to make funds and to pay taxes. So you are squeezing them dead.
Okay.
And then it came to something.
Yes.
It came to something.
Yes.
Let them just complete.
Okay.
The Yoruba people has an ethos, which is the Magwabi ethos. And I have not seen any step that Tinubu man has taken to show that he has that ethos in him. Which makes me remember that even his name is questionable, because no one knows his exact name, and no one knows exactly his ancestry, and no one can convincingly say that he's a Yoruba man. And therefore, since he has not been behaving as a Yoruba man, I don't think Tinubu is a Yoruba man. Otherwise, there will be even an iota of Omozabi in him to show that in fact he has a certain moral code that controls his life, that also determines his relationship with people.
Thank you, Raji. Okay, guys, these are real dire times for Nigerians, but we'll scale through. So that's the article giving us that warning. He says there's a plan for the fiscal policy, and have a plan to increase our tax 2.5% from 2025. And that will really cause some situation for everybody. So we hope they will listen to some financial gurus giving some advices, and they will be able to put this thing together and put it right. So let's move on, guys. Also, there's another whistle blowing that is coming up from an organization called COOP. They are accusing the federal government of double standard over Wike's threat to EP governors. George, do you have anything on that? Do you have?
They're accusing the government. This is very plain, and this is very well known. There are two standards. One law is for the general, and another law for those that are under Tinubu government, the people that are working with them. So anybody can come, as an axeman, being used by Tinubu to come and threaten anybody and do anything, and they will get away with it. Okay, I remember that this elderly man, Clark, just wrote something recently that that this man needs to be arrested. I'm talking about Wike needs to be arrested simply because of threatening governors in different states, and nobody's saying anything about it.
Nobody's
there are
saying
double
anything about
standards in
it.
our country because the law is for one and not for the other. We have mentioned here in the past when MCA Oluomo threatened Igbos and said all kinds of nonsense about them. Nobody raised up hand to touch him. Nobody did anything. He came here in Canada, was hiding after the election. Nobody did anything. But all of a sudden, one man, we said this last week, this man just said, please come and help protect our houses and our businesses. But the government of Lagos will not listen. All of a sudden, he said, if you guys are not going to protest us, maybe I can call, the people from the Southeast, IPOB to come and help us out. The following day, he was arrested. That man is still in jail after almost more than 14 months, and nobody is saying anything about it. So tell me that there is a fair, even ground for the whole citizens to operate. The law is a double standard. He's a Yoruba man, so he can say whatever he wants to say. Baya Onanuga can say anything that he wants to say and then get away with it. But let somebody, and yet the Igbos that are not even saying anything, they're concocting stories and making them guilty. Obi will be in his house in Onisha, and they will say that he is working with the protesters in Abuja. So this is what you're seeing with this type of government. Double standard all over the place, and it must stop. It must stop. Because if it doesn't stop, the forces will make it to stop.
Yes, it will stop. Yeah, man. Double standard. Do you agree with George? Is there double standard in?
I do agree. I agree with George what he said. I mean, it should be a whistle. We all should be blowing this whistle as Nigerians. I mean, why would someone come out and say he wants to kill a state? We should all be blowing the whistle. There's a big double standard. I mean, we knew nothing would be done about it. We already knew. I mean, that's the way it's done in Nigeria, and it's quite really sad. So yes, there's a double standard.
So this group
zero accountability.
They are calling the federal government to review the double standard thing, as you guys are saying, and the inconsistency to erode trust on government. When things are done like this, people don't have trust in governance again and institutions and all that. The rule of law is broken. Anyway, Raji, is there anything you want to say about that?
No, I said exactly. And that I'm sure in a short while, Wike's mouth will be shut. Because he's been ranting too much. Yes.
Ranting too much.
Unless the only way Wike will be stopped is if Tinubu agrees. But as long as Tinubu is silent, this man knows that whatever he does, nobody can touch him. Because Tinubu is there standing behind him. Because if Tinubu condemns this, he ought to come out and tell the nation. But if he doesn't, his silence means that he is in agreement with what this man is doing. So we will consider what Wike is doing by the direction of the president of Nigeria, or else he needs to come out and condemn it. There's no responsibility and accountability in our country. As long as you're in government, you can say anything and get away with it.
It doesn't have to come out and condemn it.
I wonder what they're saying.
Okay, let's move on to. I actually found this next topic news as a very pertinent thing. I didn't want us to talk about it when it happened last week, but it's spreading, and that's that issue with the former governor of Edo State. What's his name again?
The wife.
Adams Oshomole, and the wife of the present governor of the state, Lady Obaseki. Now, Adams is campaigning, helping campaign for their candidate, the AP candidate for Edo State. In the line of his campaign, he made some very petty, emotional statements that shouldn't have come out from a man's mouth, talk less of the leader. He said, he used the word Lady Obaseke's child barrenness, she's barren, she's not full, and he said those words, and those were real, not too good words. Now, the president's wife is stepping in. Remi Tinubu says they were not right words for the man to have said. Now, this morning also, the lady has responded and said, it is God's time to give babies to a woman. Yeah. He said, and she's also reaching out to other childless women. And she's telling them, listen, don't let anybody weigh you down with their words. That you all will be proud mother of children in God's time. Let me start with the lady in the house. Emma, I mean, how do we begin to say a thing like this? Tell us, how do you feel hearing a governor call somebody's wife barren?
Okay, first of all, I would not like to come from an emotional point first. I'd like to know, I know what the woman said first to have prompted the man to say that. I'm not saying it's right, and the man should have controlled himself. I mean, there are things that a governor is not supposed to say. I mean, that on TV, even if you're a bitter person, at least you say that at the back. Nobody should watch you saying that. It's bad. But I also want to hear what the woman said. Was there any initial conversation, like did they have an initial fight before this? I would like to know if there was. And yes, that's why you're a journalist. That's why you're a media person. You should do your own background check, know what the woman said, and come tell us.
Can I help?
We are not. Is that correct, Yema? Okay.
Yes, of course. I just wanted to know if there was, because I mean, what would prompt a man to say if someone of his caliber to say that on TV, a national TV? I mean, it's not right.
All right, go ahead, Raji.
First, it just shows the kind of person Adam is. What Lady Obaseki said of the APC candidate was that he has no wife. And that's what he said. Yes. And and at his age, he's supposed to have had a wife if he's a responsible man. Because yes. And if you are not a responsible man, you don't have a wife in the house, how are you going to run the whole state?
Well, the popes don't have any wives, but they're manning the whole world with their congregation of Catholicism. So just because you have a wife, it's a matter of choice. You can be single and still know what you are doing. Simply because you have a family does not automatically make you a good person. There are some people they got families that are worse than even those that don't have any kids. So that should not have any bearing in politics. So those things are very petty, they're very juvenile, and we should not be dealing with that among our politicians.
Still, a man is responsible.
We have a comment from. Yes, we have a comment from one of our viewers. He says, the weaponizing of Nigerian women, sorry, my eyes are beginning to go, who don't have or can't have children is not news in Nigeria. It is extremely distasteful to use this as a risk thought under any circumstances. Okay, anyway, that viewer is trying to say that we do this, people do this, and it's not nice. We don't condone this kind of thing. We don't I mean, you don't come to public because you're campaigning and beginning to bring these issues about childlessness, about barrenness, people not being fruitful. Those are two strong words.
Those are elementary school kind of statement, if you ask me. That's how bad it is. These are what kids do when they gather together. Ungrown children. But now look at the adults, using such languages in the public.
Can you imagine?
Demeaning themselves and their positions. They should be ashamed of themselves. Honestly.
They should be ashamed of themselves. Okay. You had the reason why the man went back on her. Raji has told us. The other man was said to be single, and she made that utterance. You single man, how do you want to lead? And now They gave the Adam Oshemole gave the
I mean, both of them were wrong. Both of them were wrong.
Very
it's
wrong.
very petty.
All right.
Just said
Thank you,
very
George.
petty.
Thank you, Raji, for telling us what the background story. Thank you, George, for condemning this. We all condemn this. SSM condemns all of this. This is not party. It has nothing to do with campaigning. It has nothing to do with anything. This is people being very
juvenile hogwash.
Juvenile, very cranky, putting themselves in a very wrong way in the public. And it's nasty. Imagine, I didn't want to talk about this to tell you how petty and crazy it is. But we are saying this now because more people are talking. The president's wife spoke, Remy. Some women are coming out and everybody's talking. So we decided to also add our voice to it. So we condemn this. That's it. Bam. All right, guys, let's move on to a small story before we continue, before we go on a break. George, is it true that Dick Cheney is supporting Kamala? Is that correct? Dick Cheney, tell us.
This weekend, it came out that Dick Cheney basically said that he will support Kamala Harris. That's what's being reported, and I'm quite sure that it is true. And so that speaks volumes there, because if Dick Cheney, a very strong Republican, can just switch over publicly like that, he's just telling you exactly the fear of what they're expecting if this man is elected. So, but anyway, we are still watching.
Anyway, we're still watching. Viewers, Dick Cheney is a major personality with the Republican, and now he's sweet choice and coming behind the Democrat.
Mike Godwin,
yes.
Listen to this. You know that after this particular statement that I made, you know our contrarian will come now, so you have to give him space. Give Raji space from Ghana, make this on this run.
Yes. Also, comments are coming in. Listen, we have good number of viewers with us tonight. We have comments coming in. Extra Jen, our regular viewer, says he will vote for Kamala Harris, not just support her. Extra Jen, that's a strong one. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, we saw that.
Yes.
So Raji, tell us from Ghana.
It's all part of the gang up against Trump. No matter what they do, the Trumpers are sound.
Yeah, in jail, possibly in jail.
Well,
in Cheney's words, he said Trump is a major threat, a greater threat to American democracy. That's how he put it. Trump is a threat to American democracy. But I don't know how they see that. I don't see it so.
No, I see it. Bro, believe me. Because one thing you don't understand, that Trump is not the kind of person that will tell you what he's not going to do.
Okay.
If he threatened all those,
all right, guys, let's come
all these people, I can guarantee you he will find a way to exercise it. That's it.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
And the reason why he's so fearful is there are people that will support him who will execute all those nonsense when he starts doing it. So we gotta be very, very careful for the peace in America and around the world.
George, Yema is looking at you, and it looks like Yema prefers Trump. Yema, I know news people don't take sides in politics. But who do you think?
I do not really prefer Trump. I like him to an extent, but he's very forward. And I remember what did he bomb? Was it Iran? After doing that, he went back to say, "We are sorry, we did this." We are like, he's too. He doesn't think before taking an action. So I don't think I really prefer him. I just like some of his beliefs, not just everything. No, I do not prefer him. Seriously. I do not.
Anyway, let's go on a small break.
By the way, Trump never bombed any place. He never bombed any place.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't bomb anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's come back. We have more stories. We have more gist, more between the lines discussion. See you on the other end. Well done.
Elevate your new week, fuel your success. SSM invites you to kickstart each weekday with our news update Between the Lines, featuring the week's top news and analysis and the most attention-grabbing lines, deciphering world events. Hook up to SSM Monday program Between the Lines. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
We're back, Emma. We're back. Where are the other guys? Viewers, you are tuned into Between the Lines, 9th of September 2024. What we do here is kickstart your week with some news updates, some follow-up news, and get you awakened to what's happening. The world is full of occurrences. At every point in time, something is happening somewhere. So it's best you stay alert and stay awakened to what's happening. George,
yes,
there's a video we saw. Let's see that video here again, and we'll talk about it. There's a video moving around. See this video. I don't know if it was visible enough. Did you guys see the Nigerian?
I saw
Emma, did you see that?
Yeah, it was very visible.
Listen to this. The presidency, through its media and digital personnel, Ortega Okri, has debunked anything to do with that video, that yacht. They said it has nothing to do with Nigeria. But the question now is, what is our flag doing on top of a yacht?
It is Photoshopped. Photoshopped.
Central.
Photoshop with the coat of arms.
As usual, they'll say it's Photoshop.
Oh yeah, let's be factual. Tell us, Yema, what they said it has nothing to do with Nigeria, but we knew one time they were planning to buy a yacht for the president.
Yeah,
and we also knew. I mean, but they said.
I mean, that's the yacht. That is it already. That's it. They got it already. I mean, that's what this government have been doing. They've been buying private jets, buying everything expensive in billions. I mean, that's just it. So they're debunking it now. I mean, they will come up and say it's photoshopped as usual. So
no, they are saying that what they are even saying is the flag is on that does not contain the coat of arms of Nigeria. Can you imagine? That's the one they're saying.
They're saying that it does. They're saying that it does. It does. It does. It does contain the coat of arms. It is. It does. It was blown to see it.
Yeah.
It was blown.
It was. Tell me, George. George, speak loud. You seem to.
What I'm trying to say is this.
Yes.
If it smells like rats, most probably it is. So let me tell you, there is no smoke without fire, according to our people, our proverb that we say. One thing that we know is that yacht belongs to somebody in Aso Rock. Okay. Because, based on all the condemnation of all the wastages recently for the past 1 year or about a year and a month right now. All you have heard is all the expensive expenditures that governor is just, the government is wasting people's tax money while people are dying daily. They, continuously making sure that they do whatever they want, how they want it, to show the difference between them and us. So we can be patient, but they cannot be patient.
Exactly.
So the problem now is, if you want your house to look clean, be the first to start cleaning your house. Because as it is right now, that country is in a royal mess. It's in a royal mess. And this is something that we need to understand because of the state of the economy and the financial welfare of that nation. People are dying daily. Children are dying daily. There are so much problem going on in that place that is not being recorded statistically. Because if it's being recorded, it will be alarming. Many of those things that are happening, people just go and bury their loved ones that die out of malnutrition or hunger, and nobody's going to report it. So that's the problem that we're having in the country. They keep on spending and spending. So when this news came out, Tinubu must have told that man to go over there and debunk it. But we know that it belongs to them.
Okay.
And the most funny thing is that they asked the market women to reduce their prices while they increase things, bought more things, and they expect people in the market women to reduce prices of things that they bought when the fuel was actually very expensive. And look at them buying private jet, buying expensive things. I'm like, I don't know what Nigeria is turning into, seriously.
Okay, Raji, can you hear us? Good. Raji, that what we were talking about is the 42M. It's called Benetti Yacht that was seen at Saint Tropez in France, and it had our flag on it. What will you say about that yacht, Raji?
Well, there's denial on the government side that it doesn't belong to Nigeria. This government has been full of deceit. So even when they are telling you the truth, you are likely not to believe it. So I don't see why that yacht will be flying Nigerian flag if it doesn't belong to Nigeria. And well, in this age of AI, anything could happen. Anything goes. So as far as I'm neither here nor there, but I cannot believe the government. Unfortunately, it's difficult for me to believe the government. They have not shown any sense. They are not showing any sense of decency, apart from their profligacy in spending money as if money is going out of business. And in spite of the assurance that Madam Tinubu gave us that they have enough money, they don't need Nigerians' money. I didn't know it was part of their gangster plan that will let them feed them some lie and let the people accept it, only for them to come into Nigeria to start spending Nigerians' money.
Oh, they're spending the money they have, not Nigerians' money. They already told you that.
They are spending Nigerians' money.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
I'm praying. I'm still praying that the peace of this country will be assured by God. Any obstacle to that peace and joy of Nigeria shall be removed.
And God has given us the peace. We need to be the ones to make it to come execute it. Seriously, God has given us.
All right, guys. More comments are coming in. Exogen is still with us. He says, "Please help connect Nigerians with Nigerians. The country should be ours. Right now, it's not." That's very true. Exogen, thank you.
Yes.
Let's move on to other stories. But before we move on to other stories, let's say some good news. I know you all have heard. This afternoon we had one of our own, Folashade Oluwafemi Ayo. She broke the world record in the women's power lifting category, and that's something to at least rejoice over. George, are you happy to hear?
Yeah, I'm very happy for that. We congratulate her. That's wonderful. And once we begin to recognize that, that through sports, just like what we have seen with the movies and the music now, that we can actually excel also and become very, very prominent and a force to be reckoned with. But we don't spend any money on sports. These people now that are coming from there, I don't even know where they are training, because the stadiums are all locked up. There is no place you can go to train. So, so that's the saddest part of it. We don't recognize all these things. Yet they make a mark on this planet that cannot be raised.
To make a mark on the planet that cannot be raised. I take note that we had also Onyeyichi Mark won also a gold when the game just started. Yema, it's nice to see the women doing this at the Para Olympics. How will you say?
I feel very proud of it. And the thing is that Nigerians have never been the problem. Nigerians have never been the problem. It's the government. The government are the problem. If the government is working, Nigeria is like, Nigerians are very beautiful people. We are successful. We are successful. We do things when we want to do it. So I'm not surprised. And I'll always celebrate our perseverance and hard work. So I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud of them showing the spirit of Nigeria around the world. And wherever they are training, whether they are training, I don't know, but look at what they are doing. They are still bringing up Nigerian flag, flagging the flag everywhere. It's really, they have it's something to, it's really personal for me. How would you be flagging a flag that is not appreciating you? But they're still doing it. I mean, that's it. That's rid of Nigeria.
That's the spirit of Nigeria. And your program, Being Nigeria, is still moving strong, waxing strong. Well done. Definitely. Well, Raji, congratulate our ladies. Say something to this wonderful women.
As George mentioned, they have all done this by individual efforts. Yeah. Some of them have had to pay their own way to competitions.
And doing this with their disability, their shortcomings, they are still putting all energy and everything to do this.
And I'm really impressed by the lady who severely broke records. It was serial breaking of records, not as if he broke it today and then at the next Paralympics 4 years at 4 years time he did it. No, he broke it serially. He did two records at this competition. She needs to be.
Yes. Yeah, that's the lady. Viewers, that's our lady, Nigerian athlete Fola Shade Oluwafemi Ayo. She has done it. Nigerian is coming home with a lot of gold medal from that Para Olympics, and we want to congratulate them. Say thank you for all you've done. All right, guys, let's move on again. More of those kind of stories, but before we go to those ones. Did you all hear of that very gruesome, very gory sight? 59 people confirmed dead in central part of Nigeria, Niger State, precisely, when a tanker collided with a lorry carrying passengers and cattle and burnt the whole place. The pictures are too Yes, I know George will say, no, take that thing off. But we can see some inferno pictures, the trailer burning. Viewers, you can see the aftermath of it too. This was this morning. The tanker was still burning, and 59 so far has been confirmed dead. Even though we know the numbers will be more than this. Emma, did you hear anything from?
Yes, I mean this just has to do with bad roads. Why would a tanker and human beings be moving on the same route? Like why? It happened when I was in Igbo, when I was going to school. The road was bad for like 5 years. The government, it was a federal road. The government did nothing about it until it killed people, and that was my route to school every day. So I was lucky to have been alive until it killed. That's when they did something about it. So it's always, I don't know, it's a road. If the road was better and Tankers have their own road to go to pass through, and where normal cars are passing through. I don't think this will happen. It's just the bad roads. And lives are being lost unnecessarily.
George.
Quite sad.
Yeah, it could be a bad road will contribute to it, but also it might be that one of the drivers were sleeping, because this happened early in the morning. So it's very possible that somebody must have been, suddenly just lost control of the vehicle and then slammed into the other one. So anything is possible in this particular case, but yet, if the roads are very bad, it's very difficult to maneuver. When such incident takes place, you don't know whether to go right or go left, and possibly that's what happened, and the vehicle, somersaulted, and then all these disasters taking place. So it's very, very, very sad. It was a very sad sight. Condolences to the families that are affected, with the deaths they have discovered. We pray that it will not get worse than this. Those that are
one of our viewers is also sending his or her, I don't know if he's a woman, condolence too. Thank you, George. Raji, it's sad. It's nice to see this kind of thing. Early hours of Sunday, this happened.
Yeah, I couldn't look at the pictures. So gory, so gory. My condolences to the unfortunate victims. It's so sad. So sad.
So okay, thank you guys. Before we wrap it up, we want to say something. It's actually like a gist on Twitter, on the social handle. Some people are saying our girl that won the Miss Universe Nigeria, that it was they used the word it was given to her out of sympathy, yes, that's what they're trying to say. So, but she came out and said she worked for it, and she did all she could, and it's not out of any sympathy. I don't know, George, do you think they gave her out of sympathy?
No, see, what happened was, what the incident that took place in South Africa made her very popular. And you have to remember that this thing is voted for, not by the panel, but by the masses.
Yes.
Yes, it is voted for. So, and they were reporting that her votes were much more higher than any other, because the incident made her very popular. And besides, anyway, she's a very beautiful girl. So even if it was in South Africa, she would have won. And here in Nigeria, again, you don't expect her not to win, because she's very popular. So that's the only thing there. But everybody going to think that it was given to her to console her from what happened in South Africa. I don't believe that. I don't.
Okay. Emma, do you think so?
I agree.
If you were one of the judges.
I'm being that Nigerians, we do not judge people. We accept people. So it was easy for her to win. I mean, we saw that she was going to win in South Africa. We saw she was going to win. So that was why the hate and all that. So Nigeria, we know when someone is worth it, to give it to them, and she was worth a position. There's nothing like sympathy there.
Raji, was she?
Unfortunately, I didn't see all the other ladies who were involved in the competition. I would have looked at them with my practiced eyes, and then I would have been able to say now, okay. But I think, like as I just said, the incident that happened in South Africa made her very, very popular and gave her a lot of traction. And I think she won fairly. Hopefully, she won fairly. Yes.
Thank you very much, guys. Is there anything anybody wants to add to what's raving on social media, on news? Anything, George, from your corner? Raji from Ghana, from Turkey?
See, I'm in Ghana now, and I feel like I'll stay here until PMS comes down to like 500 naira a liter, and I hope it will be very soon. Right here, a liter of fuel is equivalent of 1,400, 1,300, 1,400. But then there's no queue, and anyway, apart from that, you see, the very atmosphere of Ghana is entirely and completely different from the cacophony that is our country. The moment I passed through the Iduruku border, there seemed to be a burden lifted off my shoulder. And honestly, I'm not in a hurry to return to Nigeria. Honestly, I'm not.
Right, you know, yeah.
So
this one is a quarter to Japa.
this is what
Quarter to Japa.
This is the Japa itself. Wow.
Anyway, so
Okay.
one of the things that I wanted to, it's just a question that I wanted to ask actually regarding this fuel subsidy. So the point is, with the fuel subsidy, you know, we know they're still subsidizing the fuel, whether we like it or not. They know that we know, and what we know is true, but they're not going to come out and affirm it. But my question now in this situation is, why is it that we are selling oil to Dangote at a particular Naira price, and yet the price of the oil, gas in Nigeria, fuel in Nigeria, will be almost equivalent to what they are paying right now? So I don't understand the math, you know, behind all of these things. Because if we're selling it to him in Naira, is it in equivalence to the dollar? Are we using the dollar as a benchmark now? In order to now say,
George,
okay, we're going to sell it to you.
George, you know, George, you just threw the dice for something very important, and you are going to do that job. Go backstage for us, check all those lines. Let's know what this whole thing is, because this is real something to look to. So, George, do this for us. On Wednesday, come tell us what you found. Let's understand this whole, because they are just playing with our mind. They're just, you know, rambling on the, you know, just floating. We're just Araji has got to Ghana. Araji is not coming back home. Hey, this is what has cost.
Raji is.
Am I seeing something too from my corner? My corner, yeah. There's inflation everywhere, even here in Turkey as well. But what the government is doing to alleviate the sufferings is by increasing salary to help make things easy for us. Yes, house rents are going up, but our salaries are being increased times 2, times 3.
Wow.
So it can help us deal with the economy. So I mean, if Nigeria can do that, it would be nice, but just hope so they can do that too for people.
We don't have a government, Yama. We don't have a government. The people in government are not interested in governance.
Yeah.
So don't be. They are all interested in politics. So every day they will give you a distraction to keep you busy while they do what they want to do. I hear from the grapevine that Tinubu now owns about 117 oil wells. He has a refinery or a mixing plant in Malta and all manner of things, and that he's paying all the subsidy that you are supposed to be paying is paid into himself. That's why subsidy is easy to be paid.
Let's get the facts. Let's not allege. Let's get the facts, and George will tell us what he finds. He's going to dig up from all of this.
I will look into it.
All right, thank you.
You know, that's what you see. You know what we're seeing? We're seeing mini emperors, like Emperor Wike. That's one major mini emperor that we have in Nigeria. So that's what you see, because they come out, they can do whatever they want to do, and dare you to come after them. That's mini emperors that we have.
Dare you come after them, guys. We've had some good viewers with us, but we got to go. Wednesday will be back. George will be giving us some updates on this whole thing. Yema, thank you for coming. After this movement activity, you still have time. And the man in Ghana, enjoying Ghana. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Don't over-enjoy you.
There's no place like home, sir.
There's no place like home. Yeah,
every place is home now. Every place is home.
Yes. All right, guys. So till we come again, all have a beautiful week. Thank you. And let's let's do some background homework. George and Yema, everybody, let's see some things and come give the viewers so we get updated. Until then, have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Elevate your new week, fuel your success. SSM invites you to kickstart each weekday with our news update Between the Lines, featuring the week's top news and analysis and the most attention-grabbing lines, deciphering world events. Hook up to SSM